The second season of his Dark Materials has already been released and managed to end on a rather tense note, preparing us for a great war. In this video, I want to discuss the main aspects that the series pays attention to. Season 2 of his Dark Materials begins after Lord Asriel has opened a breach to New World and, distraught over the death of her best friend, Lyra follows Asriel into the unknown. In a strange and mysterious abandoned city, she meets Will, a boy from our world who is also running from a troubled past. Lyra and Will learn their destinies are tied to reuniting Will with his father, but find their path is constantly thwarted as a war begins to brew around them. Meanwhile, Mrs. Coulter searches for Lyra, determined to bring her home by any means necessary. Season 2 was supposed to have an 8th episode, and it was so confusing because some of us were waiting for it. Feeling so dumb right now. If you look at the credits of the first and the second seasons, you can tell that there is a ton of the ways of making series endless, and that can become a big problem when it comes to the show production, its idea and the common sense. His Dark Materials renewed for the third and final season, and those are the good news. As his Dark Materials is a novel of 3 books, we get 3 seasons, and it's totally fair. If we look at the series as a classic fantasy, we can say that, in comparison with the first season, in the second there is much less action, grandeur, and all that, due to which the wow effect of the first season was created. The second season is aimed more at the philosophical part of what is happening, on the conflict within a person, by the example of Marisa Coulter, on finding oneself, Will, and so on. Still, that doesn't make the show any less interesting, mostly due to the plot structure and skillfully built cliffhangers at the end of each episode. It is possible that you will have to review the series for a second time in order to fully understand and realize the highlights of the show. Don't overstate your expectation for the season 2, as it might not be what you wanted to. I propose to analyze the most important points of the second season. In the first season, the Magisterium acted as a government, some kind of bosses over bosses. In the second season, it is almost the Holy Inquisition mixed with the Third Reich. An organization whose members go mad is led by the authority. The symbolism of the Magisterium in the second season is much more explicit. It often fills the entire frame, referring to how the hand of the Magisterium hung over the whole world of Lyra Belacqua. Towards the end of the season, the soldiers of the Magisterium are introduced to us, and here we have a screaming allusion to the army of Nazi Germany during the Second World War. To be honest, the image has become boring enough in the culture, and I think it would be possible to make the hint a little less obvious. But we're dealing with an adaptation, so this is a general comment to the author. But since the second book was written in 1997, of which the series is an adaptation, that can be understood and forgiven. I don't think that the comparison is appropriate here due to how the seasons differ, but I personally like the Magisterium from the first season better. It inspired fear and respect in those who were devoted to them. In the second season, this is already really a fanatism on the verge of madness, which undoubtedly plays against the Magisterium as an organization and gives great chances for the victory of the main characters through the support of those who have renounced the government. The second, not less important aspect of the series, related to the previous point, is religion and its variations. Dr. Mary Malone, a physicist, is already talking to the program Echoes of the Dust tell her they are angels. In earlier episodes, we learn from Lyra's alethiometer that Mary was a nun and quit because she lost her faith. Subsequently, Mary regains faith, and this is what gives her the strength and the ability to travel to a completely unfamiliar world, as well as protects her from the effects of specters. The most important moment that I personally like is that the series does not impose your religion in any format. At the same time, angels say that people during their existence gave them different names. In general, as Lyra believed in the alethiometer, witches in the forces of nature, Marisa Coulter in herself, an amazing woman, and Mary Malone in angels, so the series allows the viewer to believe in what he wants. But the most important thing is that this something exists and is ready to help. I like it a lot how Andrew Scott expressed himself about their religion and spirituality in the Variety magazine interview.
Books really deals with religion in a very strong way and talks about you can be a very kind, generous soulful, wonderful person, and that doesn't necessarily have to an organized religion. Goodness is about one's soul, not you. I think that's a wonderful thing for children to understand, that there are many ways to live life, and there are many different forms of spirituality in the world. And I like that can be introduced to children at a young age, because goodness comes in all forms.
Religion and faith in general has permeated the series from the very beginning. It is simply not expressed in such an obvious form, but on the shoulders of the substance that everything rests. Without faith, there would be no dust and dark matter, the alethiometer would not work, and travel through the worlds wouldn't be possible. Let's just say that there's something to think about. And I'm not talking about the religion. An important part in the narrative is also played by fate and destiny, which are the guiding stars for the characters. They are subject to this power and worship it. I will not reveal the main point of the prophecy about Lyra, but even for Marisa, with all her strange inclinations and mental instability, this becomes a fatal moment for strengthening Lyra's search. Well-known literary move is to endow a character with unusual power, making him special and elevating him above others. To create good conditions for this and justify the exclusivity of the protagonist is the task more difficult. But the show coped with it. You watch and believe that Lyra is the chosen one, as is Will. Each has their own purpose, each has a specific role. The same as for the minor characters. Everything is interconnected. The law of cause and effect. War as the final and central aspect of the last episode of the season also carries special significance, and it is also directly related to the previous points. War in this case has a more symbolic meaning than physical, but I'm sure we will see the actual physical war in the season 3. This is the destruction of all traditions for the sake of the new ones, breaking the chains and gaining freedom, whatever it might be. I have been trying to figure out what this authority is all the time. In one article, I found the idea that this is a god itself, but why then are the angels on the side of the good guys, so to speak? And why did the Magisterium consider dust to be a sin if they are angels? Very, very strange. But I think we will have the opportunity to figure it out further. I have a theory here. I was listening extremely closely but never heard a real explanation of what the specters are. And considering everything said in the episode 4, I can make a conclusion that those are the demons. The ones who are opposite to the angels. The ones who don't protect but hurt people for what they have done with the knife. As they used it for the personal gain, they lost what have made them human beings. As the specters came from the nowhere, they can easily be the product of the dust. To end on a pleasant note, I would like to tell you how much I was impressed by the fact that the scenery of the city for the second season was created, in fact, by hand. They had to build an entire city from the ground, and honestly, you wouldn't tell because it looks so real. I even thought that it was filmed in some old European town.
I'm going to take you somewhere really special. This is the square in Cittàgazze where Will and Lyra first meet and kind of get to know each other.
I am always amazed with that dedication and inspiration with which people create. That's wonderful. Because of this, we see these breathtaking effects that only help to make the story deeper and more believable.
If you ever look really carefully, you'll see above the doors upside-down figures which show which houses have had people who have been lost to spectres.
The great things can happen when the author of the story gets to work at the studio, when they're entirely focused and interested in success of their brainchild. I'm looking at you, Rochelle Mead. That's why I don't find it surprising that the story itself gained such a popularity and success. I would rate the series 9 of 10, and this is only because it lost a little in its epic character, but still remains very exciting and worthy of attention. And all this thanks to the incredible graphics, gorgeous acting, and the soul put into the show. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the season and you are looking forward to the next one. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.